Hello everyone, welcome to your practice. Before you go ahead, please remember to only ever go as far as you feel is comfortable. And perhaps today, if the energy is low, it's better to lie down in relaxation posture and listen to one of the relaxation audios. You may want to have a glass of water at hand and also blocks and bricks and bells, but not everyone has those. A cushion, a blanket, and perhaps a bathrobe belt will work just as well. Some couple of books as well, same size. I hope you enjoy. See you on the mat. Hello, welcome to this class today. We'll start standing up. Stand feet about hip width apart, and let's close our eyes to start with. We'll keep the gaze down to the floor softly so that you can keep your balance. Start to notice perhaps what's going through your head right now. If you hear some background noises, that is mostly my cat. So as you inhale and as you exhale, notice your breath. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. If it's not comfortable, any other way will do. Notice the expansion in your body as you breathe in. And the release as you breathe out. More breath, just noticing the breath itself. And then notice the grounding in your feet. Big toe mound, little toe mound, inner heel, outer heel, evenly pressed into the floor. Crown of the head up towards the ceiling so that you are long, tall. The fingertips relax, the shoulders relax, the belly soft and the buttocks relaxed too. And take the opportunity here to scan through your body to notice what feels right, what feels not so right, and as the case may be, what feels wrong in your body this morning. Remember to go with your flow. Only go as far as you feel is comfortable. When you're ready to, slowly open your eyes. Let's warm into our necks here. We're going to take the shoulders right up towards the ears. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. And then take a couple of shoulder rolls, of neck rolls. So you're going to roll as you inhale the neck one direction. Exhale, complete that circle. Let's do this once more. And then twice in the other direction. So make sure the shoulders are right up towards the ears to protect your neck. Let's come back through towards the center, release the shoulders back and down and round. Good. And then in the other direction. Sway back and forth onto your feet as they may feel that they're a little too grounded. So just to get a little bit of movement, we'll come back to them. You're going to take your arms out to shoulder height and pretend you're playing the piano to get a little bit of movement in those fingers. And then take some wrist rotation. And then change direction. Take the left arm over towards the right shoulder, look towards your hand. Your thumb is going to go down as the forearms, the upper arms and the shoulder come in, and you end up with the palm facing up towards the ceiling and the thumb to the other direction. Then we'll take the opposite direction. The reason why you have your hand on your shoulder is so that you can feel this. And I often say that this feels a little bit like maybe trying to get a key into a lock, so you might just feel what's happening in your shoulder here. Slow, deliberate, 2 or 3 times will suffice. And then you can release the arm, release the other arm, and just take a breath here to notice the difference from one arm to the other. Let's take the left arm out and the right hand onto the left arm. And then we're going to take the thumb down and back. And then back up. So internal rotation and external rotation of the arm and the shoulder. Good. Release the arm down. Again, take a breath to notice. Then arms up, turn the palms, fingers to the shoulders, and then we're going to take some circles. So try for the elbows to touch one another, and then separate in front of the chest and go back. And then in the other direction. Good. From there, let's take the hands to the hips and take the weight onto the right leg. Lift the left foot. If you need to have a little bit of support, perhaps you have a wall or a chair next to you. Take some ankle rotations. And again in the other direction. And then as you let your foot hang there, back to neutral, you're going to take some rotations into the knee, and then in the other direction. Release the foot to the floor, change sides, lift the leg, ankle rotations. Other direction. Knee rotations. In the other direction. Release the foot. Let's go back to take some hip rotations. So taking the weight onto the right leg, lift the left leg. Here, imagine that you're drawing a figure of 8 on the floor, and you could even have the big toe down if that's better for your stability. One thing to know as well is that if this is going to feel quite challenging, you can come to a circle rather than a figure of 8. For instance, hip rotation figure of 8 is this. Hip rotation into a circle is just imagining the heel rather draws a circle on the floor rather than the big toe figure of 8. Whichever one you go for, you need to do this in the other direction too. And release. Let's move to the other side. Take your pick, your circle or your hip rotation in a figure of 8. And then in the other direction. Good, release there. Bend the knees, so you're about hip width or even outer hip width apart. Hip width being the frontal hip bones here, outer hip width being probably the width to the outside of the legs. We're going to swing. So when we come over towards the right, we're going to pivot onto the left foot so that the knee comes with us. And then back through to the center and to the other side. Get a nice little rotation into your waistline and your spine. Let's come back through towards the center. Inhale and lift the arms above the head. Reach towards your left wrist or right wrist, even with the left arm, relaxing the shoulders. Press your feet down, and then you're going to take a side bend here. So you're going to bend to the left side, making sure to press the right foot down to the floor, but try not to go too far. You want a bend in the side of the body. Inhale back through towards the center, release the arms down. Over to the other side. Inhale, arms up. Reach towards the left wrist with the right hand. Relax the shoulders, planting the feet, over to the other side. Back through towards the center, release the arms out. From this, let's take a little bit of a standing cat-cow. Essentially rounding the spine and then opening the chest up, flexing and extending. You're going to gently, softly bend the knees, interlace the fingers, and then as you exhale, imagine you have a big beach ball around. So you're rounding into your back. As you inhale, you lift the chest back up, and then you keep the elbows to shoulder height as you sort of chest bump. And then you exhale, you round. You inhale, chest bump. Let's do this another couple of times. The arms out to the side, lengthen the legs once more. For the next one, you may need to use your block, your brick, or your book. You would place it in front of your feet. Inhale and lift the arms up. Exhale, you can bend the knees and then release the hands down towards the floor, towards your brick, whichever one is more useful for you. Allow the crown of the head to dangle down. Here we're aiming to feel a little bit of a stretch into the back of the legs. Perhaps you take your legs a little bit wider, you accommodate so that you're feeling sensation but no, not too much pulling. Remember, big toe man, little toe man, inner heel, outer heel. You may bend the knees, allow yourself to sort of fold forward as if you were draping yourself over your thighs, if you like. Some of us, the back will definitely not like this. You can take the hands to the shins or the thighs and be like an ironing board, if you like, or a shelf, so that the back is long and the crown of the head is facing forward rather than down. That will still give you some hamstring stretch, but it will be better for the health of your back if it's a little tension. And then wherever you are, whether you're into your Hatha tabletop, which this is the ironing board, or whether you're folding forward into Uttanasana, the standing forward bend, you're going to slowly bring yourself back up. If you're into your ironing board, you simply bend the knees, lift the arms and bring all the way back up. If you are in Uttanasana, you take the belly button towards the spine and you slowly uncurl yourselves back up. Crown of the head always comes up last. So you have made it all the way to the top. Good. Let's warm up. Well, now that the warm up is done into our joints, let's have a little bit more of movement. Inhale, arms up over the head. Exhale, hinge forward and down from the hips. Maybe bend the knees to release the hands to the floor. Allow the crown of the head to dangle. Take the right leg back and then take the right knee down. Release the back toes. Inhale, lift the arms up by the side of the ears. If you press your right shin down and press the left foot, you can lengthen the lower back, getting a little bit more length into your belly and your pubic bone. And you can even maybe gaze up towards the ceiling. Some of you may be able to reach the little fingers a little bit more back, so you get more opening into the back and a lovely opening into the chest. Release the hands out to the front, tuck the back foot, bring it all the way to the front, crown of the head down. Bend the knees, sweep the floor, inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down into the chest. To the other side, inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Left leg goes back, left knee to the floor. Release the back toes. Inhale, lift up. Relax the shoulders, lengthen the tailbone, lift. Stay here or turn the fingers, lift a little bit more. Feel that you're being lifted from the front and the back of the chest. Release the arms down, tuck the back foot, bring the back leg all the way towards the front, crown of the head down. Bend the knees, sweep the floor, inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands in towards the chest. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Make sure your hands are to shoulder width. You're going to this time slide the right leg back. Then take the front leg back as well. So you release the palms down onto the floor. Left leg goes back. Bend the knees and make sure that you can shake your head about here. So you've got the middle fingers pointing towards the front, the thumbs pointing towards one another, and you're pushing the mat away from you so your sitting bones will lift up and the spine is long. But again, make sure that you can release the head. I've got my knees bent here and my heels are heavily lifted so that then I can press the thigh muscles towards the thigh bones and the thigh bones towards the hamstrings, which are at the back of the legs. So you're slowly starting to push the legs back toward, or behind you in fact. And then if you want to, you can get a little bit more length into the calves and start to lengthen the knees by releasing the heels down towards the floor. This is Adho Mukha Svanasana, your downward facing dog. Up onto the toes, come forward and release your knees down to the floor. Release the top of the feet down. Have a little rest, so that can be quite strong on the wrists. So the forehead's down to the floor, the hands are behind you. In your Balasana, your child's posture. Then gaze forward, take the hands back towards the front. You're going to bring yourself back up into your down dog. Tucking the toes, lifting yourself back up, then walk the feet back towards the hands. Sometimes the hands will need to come towards the feet if the hips are a little bit tight. Bend the knees, sweep the floor, inhale, arms up, and then the hands in towards the chest. Inhale back up. This time, as you take the hands down towards the floor, you're going to take the right leg back and the left leg back, come straight down onto your hands and knees. With your hands and knees, take the hands, thumbs pointing towards one another, middle fingers pointing forward. Turn the eyes of the elbows, so the inside of the elbows towards the top of the mat. But you've got your hands, they have to be at least shoulder width and outer shoulder width even. So here with your knees and your shins down onto the floor, when you bend here, you want your back of the elbows to be pointing towards the back of the mat. So that as you just simply bend the elbows, it's your nose and your chest that start to go down. That's quite a lot of arm strength here. Press the whole of the hands down to the floor. Only go as low as feels comfortable And then you can bring yourself back up. Good. Have a little sit onto your heels. Take the hands back. Shake the hands. Let's try this once more. Back to the hands being ever so slightly further forward than the shoulders, thumbs pointing towards one another, middle fingers to the front. Front of the elbows facing towards the front of the mat, back facing towards the back. Bend the elbows, and it's simply bending the elbows towards the back that will allow that body to come forward, and then you press yourself back. Doesn't matter how low you go, you will feel this into your arms. Pretty sure of that. Now, let's tuck the toes, lift back into a down dog, and again, walk those feet back through towards the center. Bend the knees, sweep the floor, inhale, arms up, exhale, arms down. Inhale, back up, exhale, down. Take the right leg back and the left leg back, knees to floor, turn the eyes of the elbows again forward, and then this time as you bend the elbows and you bring the nose towards the floor, you're also going to release, so you need to sort of slide the legs back so you come back down to your front. Tuck the toes, lift the knees and walk those legs back. Forearms come forward so your elbows are under your shoulders. Here, allow the chest and the back of the chest to fall forward and through. This is your Sphinx. Your legs may be separated a little bit, or they may well be quite close together. Whatever's more comfortable for your back. If this isn't, you can take the elbows a little further forward so you don't have as much of an angle in your back, and this is affecting different vertebrae. Then take the elbows out to the side, hands under your face, cheek to one side, relax your buttocks, and my lovely, very technical term, wibble wobble your bottoms to release any residual tension. Well done. Take the hands back to the side of the chest, tuck the toes, push onto your hands and your knees to bring yourself back. Tuck the toes, and then again, walk those legs back through towards the front. Crown of the head down, bend the knees, sweep the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands in towards the chest. Now let's see if we can inhale, exhale, stay into the down dog. So you may this time perhaps take the left leg back and then the right leg back, so your sitting bones are up towards the ceiling, you're into your inverted V, and then you're going to lift the right leg up towards the ceiling, bend the right knee so it comes into your chest, you round so you separate the shoulders away from the spine. You may even be able to come up onto the fingertips and take the right leg all the way forward to release the left knee down and to inhale the arms up. Possibly the leg doesn't come all the way towards the front. That's okay. I'll show you what to do on the next side. Back leg to the front, crown of the head down, bend the knees, sweep the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands in towards the chest. So from the other side, inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Right leg goes back, left leg goes back into your down dog. Here, when we lift the left leg up towards the ceiling, you can also walk your hands over to the right side. So the right hand's off the mat, the left hand is on the mat, and then you take the leg out and forward to then replace the left hand to the outside of the left knee and the right knee down to the floor to come up into your lunge. And if none of those are suitable, instead of being into a down dog, you can be onto your hands and knees. Crown of the head down, bend the knees, sweep the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands in towards the chest. Good. Take a few breaths here. Let's see if we can put this all together into a sun salutation. Surya Namaskar. Inhale. Exhale. Right leg goes back. Right knee goes down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Tuck the back foot, the front leg goes back into a down dog. Stay there for a breath or two. Come up onto the toes, forward, then release the knees down to the floor, turn the eyes of the elbows, and then slide yourself all the way down to the floor. Arms come forward into your Sphinx. Hands slide back. This time you tuck the toes, sit back onto your heels briefly, and push yourself back up into a downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Whichever option is preferable for you, you take the right leg forward. Remember, you can also release the knee to the floor, take that leg forward, and then inhale, arms up. Hands down to the floor, tuck the back foot, back leg to the front, crown of the head down. Bend the knees, sweep the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Take a breath. Over to the left side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Left leg goes back, left knee goes down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Tuck the back foot, the front leg goes back into a down dog. Up onto the toes, forward into a plank or half a plank. Nose, chin, chest, slide the knees back, arms forward into a Sphinx. Hands by the side of the chest, sit back into your heels. Back into the down dog. Left leg lifts, left leg comes forward, right knee to the ground. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Tuck the back foot, back leg steps to the front, crown of the head down. Bend the knees, sweep the floor. Arms in towards the chest. Stay and rest for a couple of breaths. From the top of the mat, move facing towards the long end of the mat in the middle here. Again, you may need your brick or your book. Have it towards the top of the mat here. Bend your knees, take your fingertips together, and then you're going to jump out. A word on people suffering from arthritis for this. It is actually perfectly alright to do this, but if you're having a flare-up or if you think it doesn't feel quite comfortable, don't do it. Possibly you need to try it once to see. Make sure that you go with caution. 1, 2, 3, jump out. Take the hands to the hips and notice where your feet are. Big toe mound, little toe mound, inner heel, outer heel. For now, press down. Lift your arms back up and check where the outer edges of the feet are in comparison to the length of your arms. Somewhere between the elbows and the wrists. When you start, and if you're a little bit tight, maybe towards the elbows, and as you grow in stretchiness and confidence, then you can perhaps go a little further out, providing it feels comfortable. Hands to the hips, you're going to look towards your feet. So your back foot, your right leg, you're going to pick up the toes and then turn them in, toes and mound of the foot. And then the left foot, you're going to turn it towards the short end of the mat. So right now, more or less, your front heel is in line with the inner arch of the back foot. If you feel like you're wobbling too much, you take the back leg a little bit more out. From this, we're going to bend into the front knee, making sure the knee never goes beyond the ankle, so it's above or behind, but never beyond. Outer edge of the back knee releases towards the buttock. But the shoulders and the hips now face towards the long end of the mat as you lift your arms up. You can here walk the front arm forward, walk the back arm back so you can feel a little bit of space in your body. Release the shoulders. Gaze towards the middle finger of the front arm. This is your Virabhadrasana 2, your Warrior 2. Take a couple of breaths. Release the hands to the hips, straighten the front leg. Bring your feet parallel again. Let's do this on the other side. Pick up the toes of the left foot and the ball of the foot, turn it in. The other leg turns out. Check your alignment, front heel in line with the inner arch, bending into the knee. Revolve the shoulders and the torso towards the long end of the mat. Lift your arms. Again, create space into the arms. Release the shoulders and gaze towards the middle finger of the front arm. Hold the posture over the breath. Straighten the front leg, release the arms, feet parallel. Again, let's move over to the other side by taking our back toes in and the front toes out. Bending into the front knee, taking the arms out to shoulder height, releasing the shoulder blades down. Inhale, and then as you exhale, hinge forward, perhaps releasing the forearm to the thigh, or you could take it down to the inside of the leg to the floor, or using your brick for support. Top arm here could have hand to hip, hand up towards the ceiling, or you could even turn the palm and take it all the way above the head, so perhaps the upper arm is in line with the ear. Relax into the neck, shoulders away from the ears. You can gaze forward, down, or perhaps underneath of the arms up towards the ceiling. Press onto the feet, lift the top arm, come back through towards the center, straighten the front leg, pick up your brick, place it to the other side as you straighten your legs and put the feet parallel. Over to the other side we go for our side angle. Inhale, as you exhale, hinge forward, again, choosing your option. Hand can be, right arm can be released on the thigh a little further down. Top arm could be on the hip, above, or completely stretching overhead. Choose the option that suits your body. Have a little try. Then top arm comes back up, torso comes back up, straighten the front leg, hands to the hips, have the feet parallel. Lengthen the tailbone, lift the chest. From there, let's come forward into, if you'd like, a long spine. Perhaps here you can release the hands down to the floor so that the fingers are underneath your face. Or if it doesn't quite reach there, use your block or your brick for a little bit more support. If you're able to release now the crown of the head towards the floor, in the direction of it, doesn't need to get there. Your hands should be comfortable, whether they're on the brick or on the floor. You may want to try to stretch the legs out a little bit more, making sure that there's no discomfort in the knees. You can take a tiny bend into your knees. You can have the big toe mound, little toe mound, inner heel, outer heel, still pressed down onto the floor. And then aim for the head towards the floor. Then inhale. Come back to that tabletop so the back is long. You can walk the legs back in. Stay there as you exhale. Inhale, hands to the thighs. And then as you exhale, slowly bring yourself back up. pushing the thighs away, giving you a little bit more space into the hips. From there you can walk or step or pigeon toe the feet back together. Hands to hips, take the weight onto the left leg, lift the right knee, open it out to the side and release the foot to the inner leg. Options here to keep your toes to the floor. Option to also take your brick and place it on any side that feels comfortable so you have it as support as you open out to the side. Releasing the shoulders away so you press the foot against the leg. The other leg is screwed in. You can lengthen the lower back. That will tilt your pelvis, helping you engage into some of the core muscles. You can lift the arms up, turn the palms, the forearms, the upper arms. You could stay here, have the hands in towards the chest, or bring them back to the side of the face. Overhead. You can gaze forward. You can challenge yourself by gazing up towards the ceiling. And channel the tree that this posture is of Vrikshasana. Rooted down from the feet into the hips. And then seeking for the sunlight from your branches and your little leaves. Gaze forward, release the arms out to the side, down, knee to the front, foot to the floor. Take a breath. Move around if you have a really wonky floor, so that you don't fall. And then we'll try this on the other side. So this time, pressing both feet into the floor, but engaging into the standing leg so that the hip doesn't come out to the side. You can come up onto the toes and open out. Take any variations. Different bodies, different hip openings and flexibility will mean that your leg will go more or less high on the leg and open more or less wide. Make sure that you're comfortable and stable. You could have that chair or fingers to the wall. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, turn the palms, the forearms, the upper arms. And then again, bring those arms up overhead. Lengthen the tailbone. And then sometimes the body really wants to open towards that knee that is opening out. So think about the other side of the rib cage, in this case the left side of the rib cage, just very gently turning away, and the belly turns with it as well, so that you keep your belly button facing forward but the knee opening out to the side. And then when you're ready to, you can release, take the knee to the front and the foot to the floor. Let's turn back to face towards the top of the mat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Take the right leg back and then the left leg back. Come up onto the toes, forward, onto the hands and knees. Have a little rest into your child's posture. Maybe cheek to one side or simply forehead to the floor. If your forehead doesn't reach the floor, or if you feel that your bum is quite far away from your heels, why not bring a block or a brick to meet your forehead so that you can support yourself. Another option would be to have the knees wider to accommodate for your B's, your boobs, your bellies, and bums. So from there, relax. Take the hands to the side of the knees slowly and curl yourselves back up. Slide the legs out to the side and come up to being seated. Once you're seated here, have a little look. And quite a good example as fairly tight hips. Whereby here my knees are higher than my hips. In order to keep the spine straight and to be able to open up a little bit more, I'm going to use a brick. So any height, essentially so that you can now have the knees more or less in line with the hips, and I'm not even quite there. Or you can bring the legs a little further forward. Keep the spine upright, take the hands to the side of the hips. Take your navel in towards your spine and your spine towards the back of the room. Relax the shoulders. Press your feet together. And as you press your feet together, imagine that you're separated, your big toe man, you're opening out to the side. And then if you can, you're going to release the hands without losing and without clamming up. And release the hands to your knees, perhaps close your eyes here for a few seconds. Allow those big toe man to come back together, keeping the uprightness of the back and the opening into the hips. Baddha Konasana, your bound angle posture. Some here may be able to fold in. As you fold in, if you feel that the groin is too strongly stretched or the lower back aches, you simply come back up to this original posture. Otherwise, you're going to fold in, bringing the hands to the outside of the feet and allowing yourself for the forearms to come in front of the shins. Your head may reach towards the space between your feet or not. It's an intention. It's an aim. And often, just like in a lot of things in life, it's the journey, so it's getting into those postures and seeing how we feel on a day-to-day basis in them that counts. Inhale, bring the head back up. Take the hands to the outside of the knees and then squeeze your thighs together. Extend the legs. You may now want to come off your brick unless you have fairly tight hamstrings. And you'll know this because when you come forward, they'll be pulling quite a lot. Feel free to have a blanket here if you don't need as much height, or come away from it. And as you do so here, option is to have also the legs a little bit more separated or the knees slightly bent. We start in Dandasana, the staff posture, hands to the side, pressing the sitting bones down, extending the legs so we're long into the upper body. If your back feels good, you may inhale the arms by the side of the ears, so overhead. Otherwise, you leave the hands to the floor and you fall and you creep them forward. Inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to fold forward and in. Allow the hands to fall lightly, so you're not hanging for dear life onto your feet or onto your ankles, but you're simply allowing your hands to rest. The head is parallel to the legs, so that you can relax into the neck and shoulders. And perhaps your belly will rest on the thighs, your chest, or maybe you'll be fairly upright. As long as you're feeling a safe stretch into the back of the body in Paschimottanasana, salutation to the west, then this is where you want to be. Close your eyes because there's nothing interesting about your trousers, and release. Relax. Gaze towards the toes, slowly and curling yourself back up. Let's slide the feet in. Scoop your bottom towards your heels. And there, again, you may want a brick or a book. You're going to slowly release yourself all the way down to the floor. Have your feet under your knees and your feet hip width apart. Let's take the brick or the book lengthways between the feet and try to have the big toe mound and the inner heel pressing directly into the brick so that you keep the alignment and the knees to back hip width apart. Hands to the side of the body. Make a man Friday print on the floor, so you're pressing your feet down, big toe mound, little toe mound, inner heel, outer heel. You have space underneath your neck, so you could slide your hand underneath it. The shoulders are relaxed. You're going to inhale, press into the floor with the feet. Exhale, float the thighs, the pubic bone, the belly, the ribs, upwards. You can press the hands down, so as you press the hands down, this will firm the forearms and firm the upper arms. You may even hold onto the side of the mat as if you were trying to push the mat away from you to give yourself a little bit more pull. Remember to keep pressing those feet against the brick. And here, Setu Bandhasana, your bridge posture. Take a few breaths here. And then slowly release the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, and the buttocks down, relaxing all of the back muscles, allowing the knees to knock in and the feet to come out a little bit to the side, releasing the shoulders, taking the palms facing up towards the ceiling. Discard the brick. Take the right knee in towards the chest, the left knee in towards the chest. Hug those knees. Maybe you can have a little rock from side to side or back and forth, or taking some circles, whatever feels good into your lower back. Keep the toes and heels and knees together. Take the arms out to shoulder height. Option here to have the knees as they are in towards the chest, belly hugged in, or to have the shins parallel to the floor, or to have the feet down to the floor. And you'll know where you want to go as you feel a pull into the back, if you like. So make sure that this is comfortable. One of the easiest ways to start with is to have the feet flat to the floor and simply to allow the knees to fall over towards the left. And once you have the knees falling over towards the left, toes and heels together, the knees may separate. If there's quite a big gap between your knees, you may have your brick there, or your cushion, or your blanket. Monitor how it feels in the back here. You could take the knees higher up or lower down. And if you started with the shins parallel, then you'll be releasing a little further into the back. And if you took your knees in towards the chest, then you will again get a different stretch into the back. You're aiming to keep both shoulders down onto the floor. And regardless of where you are, if it's comfortable in your neck, you may even gaze over towards the right side. Stay there for a few breaths. Aim to release and relax the supporting side. So in this case, it's the left side of the body. Often it keeps the tension because it bears the weight, but do make sure that you're relaxed there. Bring the nose back through to the center, the knees back through to the center. Because of the amount of time that we spent there, sometimes we'll have come off center, so release your feet flat to the floor, have a little wobble about, and then again you're going to do this on the other side. Possibly you keep your feet to the floor or shins parallel or knees in towards the chest. Keep the toes and heels together, allow the knees to go towards the floor. Remember, there may be a gap between your legs. That's all good. Aim to keep both shoulders onto the floor, and if that's suitable for your neck, you can eyes closed or eyes open, gaze soft, turn your head towards the left. Bring your nose back through to the center and the knees back through to the center. Release the feet to the floor. have a little recentering about. Take a couple of breaths here. We'll transition into the relaxation part of our class now. If you like to take this time to put on some socks or a top, get a blanket, a cushion underneath your head, this is the time to do so. And then here you may well stay with your feet flat and your knees up, or extend the legs one by one. Whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Palms away from the side of the body, your arms away so the palms are facing up. Allow the legs to roll out whichever way they want to. With your eyes open, make sure that your nose is facing straight up towards the ceiling. If it's rolling back, then you definitely want a little bit of height, maybe just a blanket underneath your head. Take the next few breaths to move around so that you feel that your body is evenly released into the floor. Notice the weight from the back of the body releasing into the floor. The connection of the head to the floor, with the floor. The shoulders, the arms, the middle back, perhaps some of the lower back, and the hips and the buttocks. Thighs, the calves, the feet, all released. Now check your facial features. Forehead is smooth, eyes heavy in their sockets. You may separate the teeth and the lips to allow the tongue to fall where it naturally wants to go. And then notice the breath coming into your body. And the breath leaving the body. Where does it come in from? Where does it leave from? Notice the temperature of the breath coming in and the temperature of the breath coming out. Notice the journey that the breath takes as it goes into your body, and the journey that the breath takes on its way out. Slow down enough that you can feel the breath coming in and coming out. The regularity of it. How constant it is. Allow your focus and your awareness to remain on the breath as you stay here. you feel ready to do so. Bring the awareness of your senses back into your body. Listen out for the sounds around you. Feel the air against the bare parts of your skin. Take gentle movements into your fingertips and into your toes. And then make those movements go back up into your limbs, and any movement that feels comfortable as you start to deepen your breath. Perhaps hug the knees in towards the chest. Rock from side to side. Roll over onto one side, curled up into a ball. Keep your eyes closed for now. Slowly open your eyes, allow your gaze to focus. Press your top hand down to the floor. Very gently bring yourself back up, head last, into a comfortable seated posture. Once you're back up into your comfortable position, just observe how you're feeling right now. Let's take 3 breaths together. Inhale. Exhale loudly through the mouth. Let's take one more breath. Release the thumbs to the forehead for kind thoughts towards yourself and others. To your lips for kind words towards yourself and others. And to your heart for kind actions towards yourself and others. Namaste. I salute you. Thank you very much for practicing with me today. Stay tuned for